This video we are going to discuss about orthogonal curvilinear coordinates. So the topic here we are having three major words: orthogonal, curvilinear and coordinates. So first let us start with the basic word. What do you mean by coordinate, which is very familiar to each one of us. See, we are having Cartesian coordinates. When coordinates comes to our mind, the first word comes is our very basic one, that is our Cartesian coordinates, right? We are having 2 dimension, we are having 3 dimension, okay. Now we are also having polar coordinates r, theta, where we usually write like this: r sin theta, r cos theta, and r is equal to root of x square plus y square, where theta is equal to tan inverse y by x. These all things are very familiar and which we were dealing with in the earlier classes itself. Now, so coordinates, this is the basic idea we are having about our coordinates. Okay. Now, see, at any point in the space, the vectors aligned with 3 coordinates. See, these directions, these directions are they are actually mutually perpendicular. X, Y and Z directions, they are mutually perpendicular. And when we are saying about perpendicular, we usually use the word orthogonal. Mutually they are perpendicular. Okay. So, at any point in space, the vectors aligned with these 3 coordinates: x, y or z, whatever it is. See, these in the 3 directions, they are mutually perpendicular. And now, see, we can say in the Cartesian coordinates, when their intersection is mutually perpendicular, we can say that in the planes x is constant, y is constant, or z is also constant. And now what we are going to do is, why do we so that means orthogonal also, okay, coordinates. Now one more word is there, curvilinear. That is, there is a word called curve. Why do we call this is curve? And something again linear is there. See, in general what happens is, when we are varying one single coordinate, it may generate a curve in space. When we are varying one of the coordinates, it can generate a curve in space. Okay, it can generate a curve in space rather than a straight line, and hence we call it curvilinear. And the curvilinear coordinate was coined by a French mathematician named Lame. Okay, French mathematician named Lame. Now see, so we were saying coordinate axis, Cartesian coordinate, etc. See, when we are saying about this curve, what can we say about that curve? So let us see why or how we are going to get the curves. Let us see that. See, so here we can see from this diagram that we are having 3 surfaces. See, we are having 3 surfaces. We are having a coordinate axis. They are x, y, z. They are mutually perpendicular. And we are having 3 surfaces also. That is 3 new families of surfaces. See that these surfaces are not perpendicular. They are not mutually perpendicular. We are having a mutually perpendicularly 3 coordinate axes. They are mutually perpendicular, on which we have kept 3 surfaces, 3 new families of surfaces, and they are not mutually perpendicular. And if there is a point where these surfaces meet, we can say that is a curvilinear coordinates of P. We are calling this point P. This as a point P, then we can say this is a curvilinear coordinates of P. That is these 3 new surfaces, they are called coordinate surfaces or curvilinear surfaces. They are known as curvilinear surfaces or coordinate surfaces. Once again, we are having 3 mutually perpendicular axes on which we have kept 3 new families of surfaces, and these surfaces are not mutually perpendicular. And if you are having a point where these surfaces meet, then at that point we can say it to be curvilinear coordinates of P. And if the coordinate surfaces, if it is perpendicular at every point, say P, X, Y, Z, then that coordinates, if they are perpendicular also, then we can call them as orthogonal curvilinear coordinates. Okay, they can be called as orthogonal curvilinear coordinates. And these coordinate surfaces, they can intersect pairways in three curves, and that curves are called as coordinate curves. They are known as coordinate curves, or they can be called as coordinate lines also. And this coordinate axis, they are determined by drawing a tangent. For example, if you are having a three mutually perpendicular axes on which we are having a curve, and if you are considering this point, or if you are considering this point, and if you want to get the direction, we draw a tangent to this point, say unit vector E1. Okay, and this E1 will go in the increasing direction of, say, Q1. Here we have marked three axes also, Q1 axis, Q2 axis, and Q3 axis. And this is a Q1 or Q2 or whatever it is, this goes in the increasing of that particular axis, and we are drawing the direction, we are drawing the tangent of that particular curve to get the direction. So tangent vectors to that particular thing. So this point, if we want to call, we can call it as say P of X, Y, Z, and let this curve be, let it be U. Then we are drawn a tangent E1, and we know R is equal to Xi plus Yj plus Zk. So what is dou R by dou X? Dou R by dou X is I. What is I? That is showing the direction. That means if you are taking the partial derivative, if you take the partial derivative, what we are getting? We are getting the direction. Okay, so here we have drawn a tangent vector such that E1 will give you the direction. What is this? This is also unit vector ijk or E1 or U1 or whatever notation you can see. That means that if I am drawing a I, that means dou R by dou X or dou R by dou I. That means this is the tangent. We are getting the direction. When we are graphically representing also, when you are drawing the tangent, we are getting the direction. So dou R by dou X or dou R by dou Y, whatever it is, that will give you the tangent vector along U. Or similarly, we can get y is equal to dou R by dou Y, or Z is equal to dou R by dou Z, whatever. So that means that j is equal to dou R by dou Y, and k is equal to dou R by dou Z. So when you are taking the partial derivative, we are getting the direction. That means that, say if you are considering I, or if you are considering say E1 as a vector, then dou R by dou U divided by dou R by dou U, that you will get the direction. For direction, and this is this one we can call it as a factor, say H1 or H. So dou R by dou U by H1, that is E1. This H is called scale factor, whose value differ from each coordinates. For example, in Cartesian coordinates H1, H2, H3, they are having the value 1 each. Like that, this is a scale factor, or this is what we call a scaling factor. So here H1 is called the scaling factor, dou R by dou X or dou R by dou Y. For example, here we are getting it as 1, that means that it is 1. So dou R by dou X or dou R by dou U is equal to E, or we are getting the direction. This is for direction we are writing. For getting the direction, we are writing the unit vector along the x-axis, or I or E1 or U1, whatever it is, dou R by dou U divided by dou R by dou U, the magnitude. Magnitude is the magnitude of the term. That is a scale factor H1, which have different values in different coordinates. Or we can say H depends on position. H, scale factor H depends on position. Okay, and now let us obviously start with a given point P. Now these are some of the introduction, and we can have an arc length also here. We can have arc length, we can have volume element, we can have surface element. Volume element is actually the volume of parallel paper, that is A dot B cross C, which we have already studied. So these are the some introduction about our orthogonal curvilinear coordinates. That is, we are just keeping the surfaces on the coordinate axis, and if the surfaces are intersecting at a point, at a common point, we can say it as a curvilinear surfaces, curvilinear coordinates. And if these surfaces are also perpendicular to each other, they are also mutually perpendicular, we can call it as orthogonal curvilinear coordinates. Okay. And we are having the base vectors also. Base vectors are actually, we can call it as that we are going to discuss. We will discuss it in detail. So now let us start that at a point. Let us identify, let this be the point. Okay, whatever it is, we are going to identify it by the curvilinear coordinates, say q1, q2, q3. q1, q2 and q3. q1, q2 and q3. We are going to assume we are having a common point P, and we are going to analyze that point using the coordinates q1, q2 and q3. So let us assume we are having the Cartesian coordinates x, y, z, which, and curvilinear coordinates, we are having curvilinear coordinates, we are having q1, q2, q3. Okay, as well as our Cartesian coordinates x, y, z. This is our Cartesian coordinates. Okay, this means that we can write x is equal to x of function of q1, q2 and q3. Similarly, y also we can write it as a function of q1, q2, q3, and z also we can write it as a function of q1, q2 and q3. So with the inverse, we can write q1 is equal to q1 of x, y, z, q2 of q2 x, y, z, and q3 as q3 x, y, z. See, if we can write the functions here, see this, assume that this is an equation 1 and this is equation 2. See, if these two equations, if the if we can functions in these two equations, if they are assumed to be single valued, they are assumed to be single valued functions, if they are having continuous derivatives between these coordinates, then they are said to be unique. Okay, so this should be, the functions should be single valued functions. It should have continuous derivative, so that there can be correspondence between these two coordinates. There can be correspondence between three coordinates. That means that their relation is unique. Their relation is unique. This is what we call curvilinear coordinates. Okay, this is what we call curvilinear coordinates. So now we were telling about transformation of coordinates. Like we are having three surfaces described by the Cartesian coordinates x, y, z, and having curvilinear coordinates along q1 axis, q2 axis and q3 axis. And these surfaces, they were not mutually perpendicular. If they are perpendicular, we can call them as orthogonal also. We have expressed Cartesian coordinates and curvilinear coordinates such as x is a function of curvilinear coordinates, and also these curvilinear coordinates are the function of Cartesian coordinates. And we assume that if the functions in this equation 1 and equation 2, functions in equation 1 and equation 2, if they are having single valued and continuous derivative, that means they are unique in nature, then we can call such coordinates or such relations as curvilinear coordinates. We can call them as curvilinear coordinates. Okay. Now let us consider, or let us take the partial derivative of this particular equation 1. When we are taking the partial differentiation of equation 1, we get dx is equal to dou x by dou q1 into dq1 plus dx by dou q2 into dq2 plus dou x by dou q3 into dq3. Similarly, we can get for dy and also we can get for dz. dy means dy by dq1, dq1, etc. plus etc. Similarly, dy can be written as dou y by dou q1 dq1, dou y by dou q2 dq2 and dou y by dou q3 dq3. Similarly, dz also we can write in terms of z. And also ds square, square of the distance equal to, or dx square plus d arc length also we can say. Dx square plus dy square plus dz square summation ij, hij the whole square, the coefficient into dqi dqj. See, hij the whole square can be written as dou x by dou qi, dou x by dou qj plus again cyclic we are going to write dou y by dou qj, again dou z by dou qi, dou z by dou qj. See, the most useful coordinate system are orthogonal ones because the systems in which the surfaces always intersect at right angles. That is why we call them orthogonal. So we can limit ourselves to that coordinate system. So that means hij is equal to 0 when I is not equal to j. When I is not equal to j, hij equal to 0. And to simplify, we can otherwise also we can write it as hij is equal to 0 when I is not equal to j. So, for simplification, we can write ds square is equal to h1 dq1 whole square plus h2 dq2 plus h3 dq3 the whole square, because hij can be written as hi. If they are equal to 0, then if I is not equal to j, then they are equal to 0. So if I is equal to j, that means they can have. That means that ds square is equal to h1 dq1 square plus etc. So we were able to explain the specific coordinate systems by the help of the scale factors h1, h2 and h3. Okay, and we were as I was already telling, we can have the surface elements and also the volume elements. The surface elements in the orthogonal systems, they are expressed as dsij, that is ds into ds of I ds of j, or hi hj into, in terms of coordinates also we can write it as dqi dqj, where I is not equal to j and I or j can be 1, 2, 3, etc. Similarly, we can have volume elements also, d tau. There we can have three things, that is ds1, ds2 and ds3. h1 scaling factors also 3 and coordinates also, as we know volume is 3 dimensional. Okay, so this is the brief introduction of orthogonal curvilinear systems. Thank you.